I'm TarotOracle, and it's not a reading. I have an interesting email from someone. So DM said, I'm a long-term subscriber of your TarotOracle channel. Well, thank you, and greatly appreciate your videos. I normally would not contact you. Oh, why not? I love people talking to me. However, I have a prophetic dreams, and just this evening, I had one which involved you. This was a vivid dream, and I know better than to ignore these messages. Yeah, I agree. I think dreams are important, and I've done a lot of research into dreams. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let me finish reading this. I saw you dressed in traditional rustic garb outdoors in a snowstorm. It was daytime. You were in a tiny booth which offered no shelter from the elements at all. You were speaking, but I could not discern what the message was. And as the snow fell, you grew whiter and whiter with cold, and the overall sense from the dream was that you were in extreme danger from the elements. You seemed oblivious to the cold, despite the fact it was leaching your warmth and life from you. Please be careful if you're traveling or venturing outdoors. Many thanks for your work and kindness. DM. All right, well, first off, thank you so much for sharing that. That was very kind of you. I'm in the southern U.S., so we don't have snow here for the most part, but I will watch out for that. In addition, I'm going to take your warning very seriously, and if anyone tries to get me to go on any sort of camping trip, which I don't have any scheduled until it gets much warmer, like April. So if anybody tries to get me to take a trip up north, I think I'll avoid that because of your dream, mainly. I take that stuff seriously. And the reason I take it seriously is because when I was younger, I did a lot of research on dreams and hypnosis. I have tons and tons of videos on hypnosis. So, as well as courses, and I've flown to like week-long courses on hypnosis, and I do magic in spare time, and I do a light hypnosis stuff in my magic where I have somebody hold like a business card. I know that's not a business card, but I have them hold let me do this. I have them hold a business card and outstretch their arm, and I'll have them lock their arm, and I'll do hypnosis suggestions so they can't bend their arm. You know, sort of light, fun stuff. And it works great. So, but I did a lot of research, and I'm talking thousands and thousands of psychological articles at the colleges. When I was in college, I thought it was interesting. And one thing I've noticed in the dreams is, and they had some fascinating research. I mean, these are, you know, professional, real studies that are funded and stuff like that. But they had one to where they would wake the person up. So the guy was dreaming, or the lady was dreaming, the subject, and every time they started rapid eye movement, they would have someone wake them up, which this is like the 80s, you know, 70s, so low tech, and nowadays you just shock them with a diode or something on their skin, or I don't know what you do. Anyway, but they'd tap them, and it would remove them from REM sleep. So, and they spent the night, every time they started REM, so dreaming, rapid eye movement, they'd tap them and it would stop the movement without waking the person up. So they just enough stimulus so the person would stop dreaming. So the next night, they would try to dream twice as much. In other words, they're trying to make up for the dreams that they didn't have the previous night. And I thought that was utterly fascinating because from an evolutionary perspective, sure, your body needs rest, and obviously you need to, you know, lay down and sleep, or you know, let your body recover, heal, and all the things that it does in sleep. But dreaming, it didn't make any sense to me that your body was that desperate to dream. So they kept doing this, and the people started developing like mental disorders, or like they became a little loopy the more nights they went without dreaming. And then the third night and fourth night, they spent the entire night trying to do REM, trying to dream. So again, they're trying to make up for the dreams they didn't have. Just fascinating to me. So I think there's something going on. There was another year-long study where they had, and I collected these in this book. It was like this thick, of the papers that I thought were most fascinating. The most fascinating one was, in my opinion, not only the trying to regain your REM sleep, but the other most fascinating one to me was they did a year-long study. They had people write down their dreams. So whenever you dream, you wake up and write it down. There's techniques and all sorts of books and psychological books that tell you, how to remember your dreams better and give you steps. One of them is to write it down. So they had them write it down, and then one thing they noticed commonality between all the people, and this is like 50 people, was they all went to the same places. So they didn't just dream of bunches and bunches of different things throughout the year. They went to these 5 or 6 different places, and they restricted themselves to these particular places. And you have other studies as well. They don't mention that you're going to the same place all the time, but in other studies, many other studies, they went to the same place all the time. So the commonality between many, many studies was you don't go to one particular place, or you don't go to 50 places, you go to like a half dozen of your favorite places in dreams, which is totally odd to me because you can go anywhere. It's a dream, right? So anyway, there's all sorts of fascinating crap about this. And my theory is that you're going someplace that you either know or you want to be. That's my theory. And I have an odd theory, getting on the deep end here, that we could be going somewhere when we dream, and when we dream over in that place, we're here. So when we're asleep, we're awake over there. When we're awake over there, we're reverse. So anyway, that's kind of off the deep end, but interesting dream stuff. Hypnosis is even more fascinating. They got people and they went into super, super deep hypnosis where they had the person, where they kept going deeper and deeper for like 30 consecutive minutes. And the stuff they said on the deep end of that was just weird. Just weird. All sorts of weird stuff happened on the far deep end of the hypnosis cycle. Anyway, so pretty cool stuff. I wish I would have kept all that research, because it's such a cool, I like to go through that and point out some of the other cool things on there. But anyway, so again, thank you very much for sharing the warning, and I'm taking your warning extremely seriously, and I will definitely not be going anywhere that's snowing or anywhere that's snow. In addition, I'll make sure that my phone is fully charged when I leave. I'll have an extra jacket or an extra heavy coat in the car, because it is cold even though we're in the southern U.S. So I'm going to take extra precautions just to make sure I don't get in a situation where, let's say, the car breaks down or something, and then I'm in bitter cold, and then, it's nighttime, or, whatever. I'm going to make sure I don't get in that situation. So thank you very much for your mail. Again, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. And if you'd like a free tarot reading, please email me at the email address in the comments.